morning, everybody. Pope Binary here, and today I've got another one of those trades where I just, had a really good setup, and I figured I'd just show it to you. But this time around, what I'm doing is I'm trying to explain, my live thought process, let you guys know everything that's running through my mind. And you'd be surprised by how little that information is, right? Trading, the best type of trading is the trading that is kept simple. Right? You don't have to overdo things. I only think about 2 or 3 things when I'm entering a trade, and that is the risk good enough? Is the strike price good enough? And is the setup good enough? Right? That's all I think about, and I use very basic patterns, and I figured I'd just show you how easy it is to really trade. But I'll get into this later. Unfortunately, tomorrow is President's Day here in the States, so I was not actually able to place this trade, which is why I made a video out of it, because I figured if I'm going to spend time watching the charts and learning from them, I might as well share those experiences with you guys, right? So before we jump in, here's the quote of the day. It is incredible how rich you can get by not being perfect. That's from Larry Height. So without further ado, here is a live trade example. Okay, guys, for this first trade, this is just gonna be a basic support and resistance reaction. This is one of the patterns that I look for. There are about 2 or 3 now that I really like, and this is one of them. Basically, we have a market that's ranging for a long time. We get a huge breakout candle. The market breaks through a couple significant resistance points here, right? But after it breaks through, I don't ever trade the breakout, guys. I hate trading breakouts because a lot of the time they work, and a lot of the time they don't work, right? Some people out there can discern between the two, but for me personally, I have a terrible time trading breakouts. So what I do is, instead of trading breakouts, I wait for the market to break out, come back down, retest this value, and now I'm just waiting for some sort of bullish trend candle, because we're already seeing, we're getting 1 rejection, 2 rejection, now 3 rejections off this line. If I get a bullish trending candle, meaning if I get a candlestick that forms with a strong bull body, I'm going to enter an hourly call, right, at somewhere down here below this support line, if that makes sense, at that strike price. And I'm looking, for 70-30 or 80-20 odds. It doesn't really matter, the two, so long as it's a good setup and I think the market's going to go my way, I'm going to take it. So I'm going to cut to the so-called signal candle that I'm looking for. But basically, the point of this initial clip is I'm just trying to let you guys know this is when my, I exit out of the tabs, I close all distractions, and I'm watching the market very closely, right? So I'm going to cut to the signal candle now. Alright, guys, as I continue to monitor this trade, I'm still not in a position, like I said, so it doesn't really concern me where the market goes, but this is a little concerning, to see the market break this historical resistance line that I'm looking at. So now what I would do is, if I was still stalking this trade, which I am, right, what I'd do is try and understand why the market pushed all the way down to this value. Okay, so what I'm going to do is the next, what I'd do is I'd zoom out and I'd try and understand what's happening. So the first thing that I notice, right, is that there's a pivot point right here. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to add a secondary resistance line. And as we can see here, right, this isn't scripted or anything. I didn't think this was going to line up, but it did. We can see the market came back down to this pivot point and now it's bouncing off, right? So while this trade is not looking as promising as it was before, there is still money to be made, if that makes sense. If I get a strong signal candle, let me just go ahead and remove this one since this one's out of the way, just for the sake of teaching. I'll add it back in a second. But basically, I think that there's still money to be made from here. If I see, a candlestick pattern, if I see an engulfing candle, if I see any strong bullish sentiment, I will still enter a bullish call somewhere below this new strike price, right? But I'm still not in a position, like I said, there's no reason for me to feel good or bad about this trade because I'm still not in it, I'm just basically seeing how the market's reacting. If it reacts in a manner that, I've seen in the past, in a manner that, I can make money off of, then I'll enter a trade. But if it just chops sideways, or if we break this newfound resist or support line, then I'm not going to enter the trade. Basically, what I'm trying to get to you guys is it's better to be out wishing you were in than in wishing you were out, right? If you guys, if you know what that means, right? Just basically, if you think a trade is mediocre, don't enter it for the sake of the trade going sour. You just got to be very patient. You've got to wait for the right setup. So while I'm still watching this market, it's not looking as promising. So I'm going to need a strong setup, and I'm going to cut to that if it happens. Okay, everybody. As I watch this market, I'm feeling really confident about this trade right now. So unfortunately, my broker right now is closed. So this won't be an actual live trade. I just pulled it up. I use Nadex, right? So it's closed right now for whatever reason. I don't understand why. I think it's because that's why. It's President's Day tomorrow. Duh. Okay, sorry. But basically, I just want to let you know, take it however you want it. This is not a technical live trade, right? I'm not going to be making money off of this, but this is still an excellent tool to teach from, right? So as I watch this market right now, I would be hovering over the enter trade button, right? I don't know what you guys call it on your brokers, but for me it would be place order, right? So I would be watching it, and so after this nice bullish bounce, what I'm waiting for, is I'm waiting for another trending candle. Because if we notice, I'm going to zoom in here. This is my live thought process, right? We can see this bullish candle did not break outside the previous range of this bearish candle, which gives me concern because, this candle that's forming right now could just rebound all the way back down to this support line, right? You can't think about what you're going to make. You have to think about what you're going to lose if you're wrong, right? So as we can see now, there's still controversy in the market, and I'm still not ready to enter this trade, right? Because I was afraid something like this would happen. This would be a fake breakout of the range. We might come back down and retest it. Basically, what I'm trying to say is this is not a great setup yet, right? But at this point, my mouse is hovering over the place order trade or the place order button, and so I'm very, very optimistic at this point about an upcoming trade. All right, guys, the start of the next 5 minute. Next 5 minutes is starting, and after seeing this candle finish in this fashion, I would enter the trade right now. So basically, I would place an hourly expiration, or rather a 50-minute expiration from now, basically saying, at 1 o'clock, the market will finish above, about anywhere down here. I assume there'd be a strike price at the 113 value, so I would get a strike price. We'll just say 113. Like I said, my broker's closed right now, unfortunately, but I'm just letting you guys know. At this 113 value, I would say in the next hour, the market would stay above the value. Okay, and basically, I'm just going to wrap this trade up real quick, or rather my thought process up real quick. When I stopped recording a few minutes ago, we saw the market was still in controversy. It came back down near this resistance level, or this support level rather. It didn't break it, but then we got another nice bullish bounce, right? So that is kind of sort of a double bottom. I know it's hard to tell, it's hard to see. This is not as clean a double bottom as I typically trade, and don't get me wrong, this is not a double bottom trade. This is a support and resistance reaction trade. I would never take this trade if I was only going off the premise of these two candles. But under the right circumstances, this improv, if you will, this improv double bottom serves its purpose, and it gives me enough confidence to confidently say in the next hour, I think this market will stay above this strike price. So that's what I'm saying, is at this it will stay above this 113 value in 50 minutes by 1 o'clock. Okay, everybody, as we can see in the bottom right corner here, we're about a minute past expiration, and the market absolutely took off. It's still rising. And I'll explain why we're getting such a strong reaction in just a second. But basically, I just want to let you guys know this is a really good win. Like I said, unfortunately, I did not have any money on the line because my brokerage is closed right now, but it is what it is. But the lesson is still the same. If I had been with real money, I would have made a nice in the money hold until expiration win here. Okay, so before I sign off here and before I leave, one thing I want to say is the reason I think the market is absolutely taking off like this is because we have a strong uptrend forming, I think. You know, I would expect some sort of reaction at this horizontal line I'm highlighting just because this is a pivot point and I'm actually going to put in a red line now. This is a new pivot point, which is why we're seeing the market halt at this value. But besides that, I think it's a very safe bet, you know, to say that we'd get a strong reaction off a nice pivot point because there's a strong uptrend forming, right? So that's just a quick lesson. If you found anything helpful or useful, please like, comment, and subscribe. And as always, drop video suggestions down in the comment section. I know I'm behind on getting those videos out to you. Just college has been really busy, and I have to allocate more times towards my grades right now. But I will get the videos out. So if you have any video suggestions, please drop them in the comment section below. And I hope you guys have a great day. Catch you on the next one.